This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's class, let's complete the update functionality and delete functionality. Let me run this application. All right. So now when we click on the record in the table, so let's say I click on this, we are going to the second page, and in the second page, we have the option edit and delete. When I click on the edit button, so let's say I clicked on this edit button, I want both the buttons to be hidden and I want save and cancel buttons to appear. Okay, so let's do this. So in my second view, so let me open the second view. This is view 2 and we need to go to the view 2 controller. Now when you press on the edit icon, which is this one, so let us assign the press action. So press equals to on press edit. Now copy this into the controller, go to view 2 controller and let's put it somewhere. So I'm going to paste it here. All right. So when you press the edit button, you need to hide the edit button and the delete button both, and you need to show the save and cancel buttons. Okay. So for this, we need to call this reusable function, which is handle buttons visibility. So let me give the mode equal to edit now. Where is our mode variable? So we have this dot mode, right? Yeah, so we have this variable, this dot mode. Let me copy this and I will assign the variable this dot mode equal to. Now let me assign edit. That means we are in the edit mode, and then call this handle visibility function this dot handle visibility function and pass your mode variable. I'm going to pass this mode variable to this function. I think you can directly pass it like this. The way we called, yeah. So you can directly pass this variable here, this dot mode. Okay. So you clicked on the edit button. We just set this global variable, this dot mode equal to edit, and we are calling handle visibility function. Now within this handle visibility function, you need to write one more else if condition. Else if, so basically we hand over the entire logic of the button's visibility to this particular function. Now this function will check the mode. Now basing on the mode, it will show the appropriate buttons and hide the other buttons. So what we are doing, the best thing we are doing is we are hiding all the buttons at the beginning of the function itself. So we can show whatever the buttons that you want to show at the below code. So mode equals to, if it is edit, then we just want the save and cancel buttons to be shown. Okay, so save and cancel buttons will be shown. So this is just like create. Okay, maybe we can reuse this, but let's keep this separate. Maybe we can optimize it later because both the statements are same. So here also save and cancel buttons true. So there also the save and cancel buttons are true. So maybe I can write a or condition here. So if mode equal to create or edit, so in both the cases, the save and cancel buttons should appear. Okay, so however, we'll merge this one at the last, but as of now, let's keep it separate. Okay, maybe who knows, after some time, maybe there might be a different logic that may come into this if and else condition. All right, now let us see if this happens. So I came here, I click on the edit button. Yes, now the save and cancel buttons has come. Right, so buttons are fine, but when you click on the edit button, so this display fragment should be gone. The display fragment should be gone, and which fragment should come? The edit fragment should come. So this particular thing we need to do before we call the handle visibility functionality. So I'm going to do it here. So before we call the handle visibility functionality, our job is to load our edit fragment. So how to load the edit fragment? So we already have the fragments: display fragment, create fragment, edit fragment. And to load the fragments, we have a separate function, that is load fragment function. To this particular function, if you pass the mode, this function is checking the mode. If the mode is edit, it is automatically adding this employee edit fragment. If it is display, it is adding the display fragment. If it is create, it is adding the create fragment. And in the panel, it is adding this particular uh, that particular fragment. And at the beginning of the function, load fragment function, you can see, so this particular statement removing the existing content from the panel. It is removing the existing content from the panel and adding a fresh content. So if you observe this particular function load fragment and this particular function handle visibility, so these are very, very reusable functions in our controller. So instead of writing the same logic again and again, we are handovering the loading of the fragment to this function. So this function, it checks the mode, and basing on the mode, it simply load the corresponding fragment and remove the existing fragment. And this particular function handle visibility. So basing on the mode, the best thing is we are hiding all the elements, all the buttons, and then we are showing only the appropriate buttons basing on the mode. Okay, so like this, you need to think which is the reusable part so that I can separate that portion of the code into a separate function, and I can simply call that function again and again wherever it is required. So till now, we have called that function many times, right? So here also I will simply call this dot load fragment, and I will pass this mode, and that is edit mode. That's all. Now let us see if this happens or not. So initially we are in the edit and delete mode. I am clicking on the edit. Now we can see the save and cancel buttons appeared, and at the same time, this fragment is also changed. And one more thing, when you click on the cancel, so let's say I clicked on cancel, then again which button should come when I click on cancel? Again the display fragment should come. Again the display fragment should come. Display and the button's visibility is back to edit button and delete button. Got my point, guys? So let me refresh and show you. So initially this is in the display mode. I click on, see here the buttons are edit button and delete button. Now when I click on edit button, these two buttons will disappear. Save and cancel buttons are coming. Now if I click on cancel, then these two buttons should be gone, and again edit and delete button should come, and the fragment should also be changed. Fragment should also be changed. Now let's again work on that functionality. So let's assign the function for the cancel button. So here, and do you know there is one more complexity here? The save and cancel buttons are common even in your create scenario. So let me go back and come to the create employee. 1 second. Here there might be some problem. Mhm. Yeah. So here so you have the save and cancel buttons for the create scenario also. When you are in the create scenario, when you click on the cancel button, okay, that means create mode. In the create mode, when you click on the cancel button, you should simply go back. So here the cancel means I don't want to create the employee. I just want to cancel. So you can just go back by clearing the form. You need to clear the form and then go back. Okay. So how can we clear the form? This dot get view by ID dot set value empty, set value empty, set value empty, set value empty, like this. You can set all of the values empty. Okay. So this is what should happen when you click on the cancel button in the create mode. But this is not same when you are in the edit mode. So when you are in edit mode, the I clicked on the edit. 1 second, let me see if there is any problem. So why this? So adding element with a duplicate ID. ID employee ID. Okay. So we are still getting this problem because of the IDs. So let's keep complete different IDs for all these three fragments, guys. Otherwise, we will end up in these. So I will tell you what is the problem here. The problem is we kept the same IDs in all the forms. And when these fragments are loaded into the view, so one after the other, so they are colliding with the same IDs. Let me open each form. So here it is ID employee ID, but let's add one extra keyword to indicate that this is only the create mode. This is in the create mode. So I will add this. I don't want this debug at this moment. So because it is saying duplicate ID, because every time the fragment is loading, the fragment is loading with the same IDs. So let's clearly separate our IDs in each fragment. This is ID phone, this is create, this is, for every ID I'm just appending the mode here, the mode is create. So similarly, let me go to here I think for the display fragment, we are fine. So we do not have any IDs. And again, for the edit fragment, we have IDs. We will have IDs. So here I will just say edit mode. Let me copy this and let's paste it here. Since the IDs are completely different now, so we will not get any issues anymore. Does not matter how many times we load the fragments. And in your coding in the view2 controller, where is view2 controller? So yesterday we have given the form like employee ID and all. So this is create scenario. So when you click on the press save, you also need to write a if condition now. This save is belongs to when you are in the create mode, correct? Actually, save is a common button. So where is save? So save is a common button. So we simply have written on press save. Before you write your logic, you also need to check in which mode you are. Let's write if this dot mode equals to create. So when you are in the create mode, then only you keep this one. So all this logic, I'm just simply I'm simply keeping this inside the if condition. Yeah, that's all. All right. So this is for the create mode. And now I'm going to write the else if condition. So here we need to write the code for edit mode because the save button is same even for create and even for edit. So this is the reason you need to write these many if and else conditions. So when mode is equals to create, we triggered a create call to the backend by writing model.create statement. So similarly, when the mode is equal to edit, so we need to write a separate logic to bring the data from the edit fragment, and we need to trigger instead of model.create, we need to trigger model.update. Okay, so we'll do that. Now let us see this duplicate ID problem has gone. So let me refresh. So let's click on create employee. So let's go back. Let's display it. Let's click on edit. Okay, so this is fine. And let me click on the cancel. Did we write the logic for the cancel? I think no, right? Let's go to the view. Where is cancel? This is cancel, button cancel, and we have not written the logic. So let me complete this one. So press equal to on press cancel. Now come to the view2 controller and let's write this logic as well. On press cancel. So here again, when you press cancel, the mode is very important. This cancel button is available for create scenario as well as the update scenario. So in case of create scenario, when you press on cancel, it should go back. But when you are in the edit scenario, when you click cancel, you should just come to the display mode again. So getting my point. So I clicked on this one. So you are in the save and reset buttons. And when I click on cancel, So again, I should come to the display mode. Again, I should come to the display mode. So, so here, if you think this is a common button for create and edit scenario. The cancel button is same for create and edit both scenarios. So let me repeat, when you are in the create mode, cancel button should take you to the first screen. The meaning of that is I don't want to create the employee. So just clear the form and take me to the first screen. When you are in the edit mode, the cancel button meaning is I don't want to edit. I have decided I don't want to edit. So take me back to the display mode. Okay, so if you get confused, you can write in a notepad what is happening when you are in the create mode and when you are in the edit mode. So create mode, cancel button, okay, should clear the form and take you to first page. Edit mode, cancel button should simply take you to display mode, display form. Okay, and again the buttons should will change. Got it? So create mode we have not written actually yesterday. Yesterday we forgot. So but first let us write for the edit mode. So here again a complicated scenario is this button is same even you come to this screen in the create mode, even if you come to the screen in the edit mode. We have single cancel button. Now when you click on cancel, first of all you should know in which mode you are. What is the current mode? What is the current mode? Why do you want the current mode? If the current mode is edit, if the current mode is edit, then the cancel button should take you to the display screen. Let's say if the current mode is create, then the cancel button should take you to the previous screen. So these two conditions are there. So that's why you should know the current, what is where I am, in which mode I am. Okay. So that is the reason this global variable is declared. The global variable always should be updated with the current mode. Okay. So when I press the cancel, I cannot write the logic specific to create or specific to create. First of all, I need to check in which mode I am. So let's say I'm in the create mode. So this dot mode equals to create. If you are in the create mode, what you need to do, clear the form and go to the first screen. So I'm just writing a comment here like clear the form and go to first screen. Else if so if you are in the if you are not in the create mode, so let's say you are in the display mode, sorry, edit mode. Your mode is edit, so which is basically this one, this page. Yeah, now you are in the edit mode. When you click on the edit button, the moment you click on the edit button, what we are doing, we are updating the mode variable. So we already updated the mode variable with the value edit. Okay, just to know that we are in the edit mode. So that is the reason the line number 77 is written, because always remember the mode. This dot mode is a global variable and this has to be updated with the current mode. Otherwise, the entire logic that you have written for this common screen scenario will be gone. Okay. Otherwise, it is better you keep separate views instead of keeping the same view. Okay. So there is an advantage as well as a disadvantage with the common view is when you are writing a common view, your mind should be uh, thinking twice before you write the logic. But if you cleanly separate, my edit screen is separate, my create screen is separate. my display screen is separate, just like the previous batch. In the previous batch, all the screens are separate. So you don't need to think this much. Okay. So that decision should be taken by the developer. All right. Now, when I'm in the edit mode, you clicked on the cancel. So the first thing I need to do is, again, I need to update my mode as display, because when you are in a edit mode, so you are in the edit mode and you pressed cancel. So cancel means I don't want to edit. That is the meaning, right? You are in the edit mode, you pressed cancel. That means I don't want to edit. So when you do not want to edit, that means you want to go to the display screen. So this dot mode equal to display. And again, you need to call the handle buttons visibility and load fragment. So these two functions. So line number 79 and line number 80. See how much these two functions are useful for us. Now, this dot load fragment is taking your mode as an input, and it will check in which mode you are. So you said display mode, so the display fragment will be loaded and the current fragment will be removed. And again, buttons visibility. So since you are in the display mode, it shows the edit and delete button again. See how many times these two functions are very much helpful for us. So let us test our logic that we have written. So I click on edit, very fine. Let me click on cancel, and very fine. See, so basically my point is, you can go with this particular view only when you are logically good. Okay, when you have the patience to think about these many modes. Otherwise, just create separate screens. Even when you are practicing, there is no rule that you need to do as I am doing. You can do just like the previous batch people have done. Just create separate view for the create screen, update screen, and delete screen. That's purely up to you guys. Now let's come and write the edit logic. So in SAP UI5, the advantage is for create update scenarios, the code is 99% same. Only 1% difference will be there. 99% same in the front end as well as in the back end. So let me write now. I'm going to copy this code. So whatever the code that you have written for the create, 99% we use the same code. So you can just copy this.
Rizwan sir, we did not change the IDs, right, for create mode. Is it
Didn't I? So I didn't change the IDs. You need to change it. So it is in the create mode. So yes, you need to change the IDs. Otherwise, they will not work. All right. Now let's paste this code again. Now when you are in the edit mode, the IDs are not these. So the IDs are having edit at the last. Now copy this, put it here. So yesterday, a few people said it is a little confusing, over the WhatsApp separately to me. For those people, again, I'm suggesting you can just create separate screen for create update, and you do the router navigation accordingly. Okay, you just take the concept here and implement in your own way. Like in the create screen, you write this logic. In the update screen, you keep this particular logic. So you take the code from this particular project, but you keep in your separate views if you get confused. All right. Now we have read entire edited data by the end user. So uh, whatever the data that you have changed, so we are reading the entire form, and then we got the OData model, and to trigger, so in the backend it will call employee set underscore update underscore entity. So to call that particular method from your coding, so let me just open the backend as well. Let's see, GWG. Let me go to runtime artifacts, DPC extension class. Yeah. So this is the method that get executed for update scenario, that is employee set underscore update underscore entity. Now how to call this method? So you need to call this method by using model dot, instead of saying create, you need to say update. So this is one change in the coding, and second change in the coding is whenever you are updating the record, the syntax is slash employee set, and within the round brackets you need to give single quotes and pass which employee you are editing. Nothing but we need to keep the primary key within the single quotes. Now for how you can do this dynamic concatenation, I already given you the shortcut. The shortcut is first keep some employee ID. Okay, so the hard coded value. After giving the hard coded value in the employee set, you replace this with the exact variable which is having the employee ID. Nothing but this one. Now copy this and keep this in this hard coded value. After that, so step number one, keeping the hard coded value. Step number two, replace that with a variable. Once you replace it with a variable, the step number three is keep plus icon on both sides of the variable and keep double quotation on both sides of the plus. So this is the third step. Whenever you get confused with the dynamic concatenation, that is by using plus operator in JavaScript, you follow this particular shortcut. Step 1, keep the hard coded value. Step 2, replace the hard coded value with the variable. Step 3, keep plus on both sides of the variable and double quotation. That's all. Okay. Now this particular method will go and call your employee set underscore update underscore entity. And you need to give the message. So in the success function of the update, we do not have request and response. We simply have response. That's all. We do not have the request and response. However, we can simply write employee updated successfully. Employee updated successfully. And if any technical errors occurred, then the error function will be called and the technical error message will be shown in this path. Now let us test. Yesterday we have one dummy record. Let me edit this. So I will edit this with one of your data. So yesterday we created one record. Whose record it is? I think it is Mahesh. Now let's update this with maybe Sai Krishna. So let me just edit this. I'm going to give the name as Sai Krishna and designation as developer, skill SAP UI5. email. So we have the email list here. This is the email and phone number. I'm just keeping something you can edit through the application later. And salary. So let me give some 5 lakhs. And date of joining. So I'm just changing the date of joining to 15th February. Status. Let me keep as contract. And rating I'm giving 4. Let me give 3. And I'm going to click on save. So I clicked on save. Now you can see we got the error saying that employee set underscore update underscore entity not implemented in the data provider class. We got the technical error message. So let's close this and let's write our logic in this method. So before I write the logic in this method, I will copy the code that we have written in the create entity because it is going to one and the same. The only thing is instead of using insert, we use modify. That's all. No other difference between the create and update. Let me go to the display mode, double click. Sorry, no double click. Let me go back. So select your method and click on redefine method. So here I'm going to remove this. I'm going to paste it. So data ls data. So same thing, guys. The only thing I will be doing is instead of insert, I will write modify. That's all. That's all. No other difference between create and update. Create means creates the record. Update means updates the record. So again, just to explain this logic. So I need the updated data to be read that is coming from the front end. So for that again, we have IO data provider hyphen read entry data. So we get the data from SAP UI5 into this variable ls underscore data. So once you got the data, you are checking if this data is not empty. So when it is not empty, you are modifying the table with the same data. So that's all. Let's activate this. And now let us press the save function again. Now I'm clicking on the save function. Now you can see employee updated successfully. Now let us just go back. So I'm just going back to see if this is updated. Yes, this is updated. Now click here. Now you can see the Sai Krishna details are in the display mode. So again, if you want to edit, you can just get into the edit mode, or if you want to cancel, so you can cancel. See, edit and cancel all are working fine. Okay, so this is how you need to handle the edit scenario within the same view. Now let us see the delete scenario. When you are in the display mode, there is a delete button. So delete button always available only in the display mode. Delete button cannot be available in the create mode or in the update mode. Delete button should be available only in the display mode. So the moment you click on delete, you need to pass the employee ID to the backend. And in the backend, the method that gets executed is employee set underscore delete underscore entity. So this method gets executed. Once you delete the employee, the moment you delete this employee, guys, this form becomes empty, means labels will be there, but these values becomes empty. So showing the empty screen to the end user does not look nice. So we will just navigate back to the first screen. Okay. By showing the message saying that employee deleted successfully. Yeah. So now let us do this. This is the button. Let us write the press action on this button. I'm going to the view to. Where is my delete button. So this is my delete button. When you press the delete button, I'm writing on press delete. Let's copy this, go to the view to controller, and we need to write one more function here. So format document, I'm going to write it here. Oh no, this is not the correct place, I think. So here we need to write. This one I'm going to remove. Yeah. So when you are clicking on the delete button, so I need this employee ID. So how can I get the employee ID? You can get this employee ID either from the form, or you can get this employee ID from the binding context of the view as well. Okay. See how I am getting this employee ID. So variable emp ID equals to, I will say this dot get view dot get binding context. Now what is binded to this view? Whatever the row that you have clicked from the table, so that particular row's data is binded to the entire view in our on pattern matched function, correct? So if you go to your on pattern matched function, if you are in the display mode, then you have binded your view, this dot get view dot bind element with this particular employee's complete data. Now what I am doing, I am basing on the fact that this employee data has already been binded to this view. Now I am getting from that particular binded data. So I'm saying, hey, Mr. View, this dot get view, I know that you are binded with the data. So get binding context dot get property. I just want employee ID. So I'm saying, hey, Mr. View, you are already binded with the data. So from that binded data, you give me only employee ID. Okay, so that much easily we can get this employee ID. So this dot get view dot get binding context dot get property employee ID. So let us see if we get this employee ID or not in the debug mode. I'm hitting F12. Let's go to the sources. I don't want this debug point. I don't want this debug point. Let us keep a debug point here. Now click on delete. Now let us see if we are getting the correct employee ID or not. Yes, we are getting the correct employee ID. Okay. All right. So once you get the employee ID, the next thing is we need to trigger this method that is employee set underscore delete underscore entity. To trigger that method, you need to get your again OData model object. So you can copy this code. Code will be almost similar. So I'm getting my OData model by writing this dot get owner component dot get model. So I get the OData model. And now model dot, most of the people think this function name is delete. There is a function OData model dot delete as well, but this method will delete your OData model, guys. It will not trigger your employee set underscore delete underscore entity in the backend, but this method model dot delete, O model dot delete, it will delete your OData model. I will share my experience. So we are from Center of Excellence team. In some companies, it is called as COE, Center of Excellence team, and in some companies, it is called as practice. Okay, so I am belongs to the practice actually. Practice means Center of Excellence team. So our job is we not only work for the projects, but also those projects who are in trouble, which are in complex issues. We go to those projects and resolve their resolve them from their situations, whatever might be the situation. So in one project, this funny incident happened. So they said like the entire application suddenly stopped working. Okay, so nobody knows what's happening. The entire code is perfect. Everything is perfect. Okay, so they said suddenly the application stopped working. So I went to that project and I just gone through all the code. Then I find this particular model.delete statement, which is the culprit of the entire situation. The moment you write model.delete, your OData model itself is gone. When the OData model is gone, obviously your model.update also will not work. Your model.create also will not work. So in that project, I simply removed this method model.delete, and the actual method to trigger is model.remove. Okay, and after that they laughed. They were stuck in that issue for 1 week, and after simply replacing that delete into, by remove, so they unable to digest that this is the culprit for the entire application not to work. Okay, so sometimes these kind of situations will come where the issue is very simple, but we'll be roaming around, uh, and we will never end up in finding the exact issue. Okay, so just sharing this experience so that in case whenever you are writing model.delete, so you will remember that this will cause all other operations also into problem. All right, so model.remove, and then you need to pass the employee ID. So data is not required. For deleting the record, data is not required, guys. Only employee ID is enough. So which we are already passing it within the round brackets.
Rizwan, I have a question. So
Yeah,
these OData methods like update, create, remove are already written
yeah.
by the developers, right?
Already
Written by the developers, right?
in the backend, yeah. So in the
Yeah.
backend, ABAPers will write. Correct, correct. So in the front end, you need to write this logic.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this
So all right, we
remove
are.
create,
Yeah.
update function, this doesn't come under OData, right? It comes under ABAP only, right? But how to consume those services, we should know, right?
See, this comes under UI5 only. You need to write this code. See, whatever
Yeah,
I'm writing in the business application studio, UI5 developer need to write. Whatever I'm
yeah.
writing in this SAP GUI, this backend developer should write. If you know
Okay,
both,
so
you can write both.
okay, so as a UI5 developer, we should not be worrying about these services, right? Backend services.
Yeah, backend, not services, methods. Okay,
Yeah,
but you
method.
should know how to check your metadata, how to check the entities. So these things you should know.
Okay.
Okay, you no need to know this backend, whatever the methods I'm writing, whatever the logic that I'm writing in the backend. So that is not the front end developer's part, but
Hmm.
you should handle this metadata. You should know, okay, entity. So when you go to the metadata, you should see, okay, these are the entities, and these are the entity sets. So this information you should know. Let's
Okay.
say they suddenly told you to display the employee data. You no need to ask what is my entity set. You should go
Mm-hmm.
open your metadata document and check the corresponding entity set and put it in your code. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Only till metadata it is UFI developer job. Okay, but rest of the what is happening
Yes.
inside your GUI, that is not the front end developer's job. Okay, all right, guys. So now let's go and implement this employee underscore delete underscore entity so that our CRUD operations will be over. So select it. So before I select this, I will copy the code from get entity. The reason is we are sending the primary key within the round brackets. Whenever you are sending the primary key within the round brackets, to collect that primary key, even in our read operation, we collected the primary key, correct? So let me just remind you, this is employee set, which is giving all the data. And if you see, I passed the primary key within the round brackets and hit enter. I got only this Rahul's data. So this logic is written in employee set underscore get underscore entity. So if you remember, let's go to employee set underscore get entity. So what we are doing here, we are reading only that primary key from the IT key tab. So read table IT key tab into LS key tab with key name equal to employee ID. So once we get this employee ID, we are reading only that single record from the database table. Now what we will do, we will change only this inner statement. Okay, so I'm copying the entire logic as it is. So instead of reading that record, we are going to delete that record. So I am going to write delete from my table where employee ID is this. That's all. So delete from the database table where employee ID is some employee ID. So that's all, my dear friends. Let's click on active, activate, and now the employee will get deleted. I'm going to create one dummy record instead of deleting one of your records. So let's create one dummy record. I'm going to say this as some 7777. These are 5 sevens and this is 6 dummy. So let me copy this again. Dummy, dummy, dummy. And let me give this something status dummy rating, does not matter. Now let us click on save to create this record. The record got created. Now let's go back. Let us see if this record created. One second. Where is it? Dummy record? Let me refresh and see. Yeah, so the record is there, and let's go to this second screen and let me click on the delete button. So you can see employee deleted successfully, but this particular empty form will appear, guys. So that is the reason I'm asking you to navigate to the first screen. Okay, just write this dot get router dot nav to and go to your first screen. So for that, I'm going to write this logic, and that is this dot get owner component dot get router dot nav to, and I need to navigate to my first view. To navigate to the first view, so let's go to the manifest.json. Where is my routing? Yeah, so I need to use this first root name, and that's all. Now what happens? It deletes that particular record and display the message saying that employee deleted successfully, and it will also take you to the first screen so that end user can't see that empty form, ugly form. Okay, so that's all, my dear friends. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave for today. Yesterday video was not sent, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yesterday's class recording is not there. Saturday one you have shared.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to share it today. Actually, having
Thank
having an internet problem, I came to some other's home and taking this class. I'll just download it yesterday's video.
you. Okay, sir.
So fine, guys. I think hope you are getting the things even in the single screen. Okay, that is what is my little worry. After I started with a single screen, then even I little regretted why I made this as a complex. So instead of going to separate views, just like the previous batch. Okay, so if you are getting the things, it is best because if you know how to handle in a single view, that's always give you best experience. Otherwise, so my suggestion is go with the normal separate views. Okay, if you have no problems with this single view. Yeah. So fine, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.